Hey guys, it's Chris from the TCG team. I will be telling you about the new Lightsworn deck. Well, not really new, but you get the picture. This is the very first of our deck list that we will be posting on the TCG team, our YouTube channel. I'll be telling you about it while Connor runs the camera. So, for those of you who actually want to build a Twilight deck, this will give you a basic idea of what you want to run.
By the way, the main deck is actually a Lightsworn. He just has, like, you know, all the Lightsworns in here, and then his side deck will turn it into a Twilight, so he has, like, Light Pulsar. It's like a Chaos Dragon side deck, kind of. It just turns into, like, kind of a Chaos Dragon
I'm missing a BLS, though.
Yeah.
That's an essential, but...
If I find it, I'll trade him something for it.
So, yeah, that's something to look forward to.
I pulled one in a Dark Revelations pack from a while ago, like a year ago, and because I was looking for, cards for my Crystal Beast deck. I bought the special edition pack and actually that's where I pulled out of like 100 something packs, I think I pulled like one Sapphire Pegasus, one Topaz Tiger, and
BLS.
And it came with one Dark Revelations 2 pack, in which I pulled I had half as many Dark Revelations 2 packs, and I pulled a BLS, and now I can't find it. It's probably lost somewhere under all the shit my desk has. I'll try to find it, and yeah, that'll pretty much complete the deck.
You don't really see that kind of shit in Pokemon, do you?
Chris just hates on Pokemon every chance he gets. Now then.
Yeah, it's confusing. Anyway, so this is the Lightsworn deck. As you can sorry, I'm like holding it up. I'm holding it upside down from my angle, so it's kind of confusing. Anyway, so the essential staples for Lightsworn decks, or Twilight, or whatever, are 3 JDs.
Ever since it was not semi-limited.
So, yeah. I pulled the gold version from a gold series that Connor gave me, which he is filming right now.
Yeah,
Gold Series 3.
He got a bunch of other stuff. He got like a gold.
I really don't care about.
He got like a gold rare. What was it? This is it, actually, I think. Anyway.
I got a gold rare, something else. Anyway, so, yeah.
I think it was, like, Gale the Whirlwind.
Yeah, it was Gale the Whirlwind, I think. So, yeah, 3 JDs for the staples. And another 3 that you should run are 3 Janes. I run these because of their essential power as, like, a beater and their ability to mill. So, it helps you get stuff like JD out.
Because for those of you that don't know, you have to have 4 Lightsworns in your graveyard, and you can special summon him from your hand, no cost at all.
Other than the fact that you have to pay 1,000 to nuke the entire field except for itself.
Yeah, except if Chris, like, he often kills me like this. Well, he'll keep 2 JDs in his hand, thanks to Solar Recharge. He'll, like, draw all 3. He'll special summon JD, nuke the field. If
that doesn't work, then I just nuke the field again.
Yeah, and then
Connor runs Scraps. We'll be showing that deck list, like, at some point. We don't know when.
Yeah, and then these 2 are in his hand, and then after he's nuked the field and cleared everything,
I just summon 2 more and kill him.
Summons 2 more, OTK. Instant win. Really great card. Yeah, it's essential for a Lightsworn deck.
Just like Jane. Mill power, beat power. So that's something you probably want to think about when you're making it.
You don't really need 3 Jane, but it's...
I don't know. I run it because of its power.
He mostly runs it because he doesn't have any Aaron. If you could hook him up with that, that'd be great.
So, yeah, any, like, website or...
Our local card shop is out, and the usual source we use doesn't sell single cards.
So, yeah, that's something. Anyway, so, yeah. Now going on to the number 2 cards. Here is Lumina. It lets you mill 3 cards from your deck, and by discarding 1 card from your hand, you are allowed to special summon 1 level 4 Lightsworn monster from your graveyard. I do a combo with Wolf, where I discard Wolf just to special summon it again.
Yeah, it actually is ruling because the discard is a cost to activate the effect, and then I'm pretty sure anyway, and then
I do that all the time, and no one really questions it. So yeah, 2 Luminas.
Oh, by the way, about Wolf,
again, this deck isn't really all that finished, so I'm trying to get more Wolves.
Yeah, he only had 1 Wolf from some pack, but he really needs more.
So yeah, according to Connor. Anyway, the
Yeah.
next cards in the list are 2 Lilas. I was originally gonna run 3, but I had MST and stuff on here, so I decided it wasn't all that essential. It lets you mill 3 cards from the top of your deck. You could, by switching it into defense mode, you're allowed to destroy 1 spell or trap. Sadly, you can't switch its battle position until your next turn.
Well, the end of your next turn.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I didn't really.
it's
read
basically a one-time use because
Normally people kill it because it has 200 defense.
yeah, hell, I mean seriously, I think his Raikou can kill it.
It can. It has like 300. Hell, a Karibo could kill it.
Oh wow, that's just sad. Sorry.
Okay, anyway. So, yep, next in the list are 2 Gareths. These cards are more of a beat stick than anything else.
But it does let you it gives you extra mill power because if you
mill due to the effect of a Lightsworn monster, you can mill the top 2, and then for any Lightsworn you discard with this effect, you get to draw a card.
Yeah,
so at the most you can draw 2.
When you're turning it into a Twilight deck, side him out because
It's not really useful.
Yeah, he won't mill Lightsworns for draw power.
He'll probably only just. Not really
Although
do
he is an
anything.
1850 beat stick, so if you want to keep him in just for that,
just to like, just overwhelm your opponent with beat sticks, I guess. Anyway, next in the list are 2 Arcus. I originally ran 3. I think I might side deck 1. Its effect is great, but sadly, it doesn't have that much attack. It has 1200.
Also, some of the main field clears like Torrential Tribute and Dark Hole don't work because this effect actually only says if it targets a Lightsworn, and Dark Hole, Torrential, those stuff they don't target, so they don't. It just doesn't work. So they can still blow it up with like. If I drew into a Dark Hole, even if Arcus was the only monster, I could still play Dark Hole and then clear Arcus.
But just in its own, its effect is good. It lets you mill 2 cards from your deck, and it will negate any effect that targets specifically a Lightsworn.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know specifically. I don't really know the ruling on that. Anyway, the next in the list are 2 Raikous. Strangely, it's sometimes a dead draw in this deck, but in any other deck, it seems to be essential. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I used to run it in scraps. I don't anymore because
you used to mill like Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, and Mirror Force.
Yeah, I have really bad luck with the mills, and on top of that, scraps. If I mill an essential card like Scrap Storm,
then you're screwed.
I'm just done. The duel's over at that point.
Yeah,
so.
that's the good part about that. It's great when you duel him and he mills stuff like that. Anyway, 2 Raikous. Discard the top 3 cards of your deck. Wait, no. You just target 1 card on the field.
You destroy it.
You destroy
mill the top 3.
Yeah.
By the way, the destruction is optional. The mill is. I don't think the mill is.
No, the mill is optional. No, wait, no. The mill isn't optional. The destroy is optional. You can just mill if you want, in case you're just trying to aim for JD, which is.
Although the bonus is a -1 for your opponent, so.
Yep, that's a bonus. Anyway, so here is Gragonith, the Lightsworn.
Did I just say mill, or did I say destroy? Whatever.
I don't know. Anyway, okay, you should probably tell us about that in the comments, because we don't know what we're doing anymore. Anyway, here is Gragonith, the Lightsworn Dragon. Its effect is, it gains 300 attack and defense for every Lightsworn in your graveyard with a different name. So this is basically a good beat stick, that if you end up milling JD or whatever. So, yeah, I don't know. It's good as a beat stick. You get to mill the top 3 cards of your deck at the end of the turn.
Yeah, although I have beaten Chris by just stalling the duel out thanks to Goblin.
Yeah,
it's not destroyed by battle.
I tried, like, when I nuke his Scrap Dragon, it summons back a Scrap Monster from the graveyard.
I once got him down to 400 life points, and he couldn't nuke the field anymore. I just stalled him out.
Yeah, you stalled me, and then I milled every last card.
He milled the last card in his deck, and he lost. So
yeah, that was a dick move on Connor's part. Anyway, Gragonith.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, we've already showed you this one. It's Wolf. I'm gonna get more eventually. So yeah, that's something.
Honest.
Wait, no, sorry, I forgot to tell them about the. Anyway, Wolf. When it's milled from your deck to the graveyard by an effect, or just milled from your deck to the graveyard, period, it gets to special summon itself from the graveyard.
Yeah,
Running 3 is good because you have more of a chance to mill, but sadly, it can't be normal summoned or set, so it becomes kind of a dead draw during the end of the duels.
Like he said before, he uses his Lumina Lightsworn Summoner so that he can just discard it and special summon it. So if you have Lumina and Wolf in your hand, it's not a dead draw anymore.
it's technically kind of good because you get a 2100 beat stick.
Yeah, that's all he's good for.
Yeah.
That's all he's good for.
Anyway, essential in light decks, Honest. Pretty much the greatest light monster I've ever seen.
Basically, let's say, like, I took any monster with, like, 8 million attack points, okay? And I attacked Lumina, and he had Honest in hand. Lumina would gain, like, 8 million attack points, and it would be basically like taking a direct attack from Lumina.
Plus your monster would be destroyed. Anyway,
yeah.
So Honest gives the attack points from a monster to another monster. Like, okay, I don't know how to explain this. Anyway, like, if a monster attacks, it would give the attack points of the attacking monster to the monster it's attacking.
Yeah.
If it was a light monster, anyway. So that's why I put this in there. I don't know. I haven't decided whether or not to run this in Twilight because there aren't that many lights.
Yeah, in his Twilight build, he removes quite a few lights. So it's questionable whether or not you want to run Honest into your Twilight version.
Other than the fact that it's a light monster. Anyway, so moving on to traps, I run 2 bottomless because they're semi-limited. 2 bottomless. Any monster with 1500 attack that's normal or special summoned, I can play it, and then it's destroyed and removed from play.
Yeah, so it's basically it's better. It's actually kind of better than Solemn Warning, except Solemn Warning
just negates any effect that special summons a monster, or when a monster is summoned. You can pay 2,000. I have that in here, but anyway.
Solemn Warning. The problem with it is Solemn Warning. The only thing is Solemn Warning. It's a what's it called? Counter trap. So it's spell speed 3. So, like, if I had a Stardust Dragon on the field, I could tribute it and stop bottomless, but not Solemn Warning. So
that's something. Anyway, so bottomless, destroy and remove any monster with 1500 or more attack. It's a trap card. Anyway, so next on the list is Call of the Haunted. I was originally gonna run 2, but I decided to like veer close to 40 because I need to get my cards like faster. That's why I keep getting JD easily. Call of the Haunted, you can special summon 1 monster from your graveyard in face-up attack position. And it basically, if this card leaves the field, when that monster is destroyed, destroy this card. And when this card is removed from the field, destroy that monster.
Yeah, but the problem is, like, okay, let's say I took a card like Compulsory Evacuation Device. I returned it to his hand. This stays on the field because the monster was not destroyed. So
and the card wasn't destroyed either. So it becomes kind of a field stopper. I don't know how to define.
It just kind of wastes spell and trap zones. But again, with Lightsworns, when you use the JD nuke, it'll clear it.
So yeah, that's something. Just easy way to get rid of it. Just JD the field.
Yeah. Considering, but there's a lot of spells in here, so you really clogging up that extra zone isn't too bad.
Because these leave the field anyway. Anyway, so next on the list is the card.
You could also MST it if you wanted.
Yeah, I know. You can do that with Macrocosmos too. Anyway, because if you like get screwed over because you removed all your cards, that's kind of what I did before. Anyway, Solemn Warning. This is the card we were talking about earlier. Pay 2,000.
Negate the special summon, normal summon of a monster, special summon of a monster,
or an effect that special summons monsters. So basically, if I use Starlight Road, he can negate it with this.
Yeah, or I could, let's say that we're playing Dino Rabbit here. For those of you who don't know what that does, they summon Rescue Rabbit, special summon these 2 monsters, Cobzoles and Sabersaurus. And then turn them into Evolzar Lagia or Dolka.
Which happen to be complete douches.
By the way, Lagia is basically Solemn Judgment in monster form.
Sadly, all you have to pay is 2
Xyz material, which
luckily they can only use the effect once.
Yeah, that's
once it uses its effect, it's basically just a beat stick.
Yep, that's the only good thing.
It's really annoying though. Anyway, so Solemn Warning, negate the summon of a monster or the effect that special summons a monster.
Oh, and of course it destroys it.
Oh yeah, it destroys it too. And pay 2,000 to negate it.
Yeah.
Next on the list, an essential for any deck, Solemn Judgment. Pay half your life points to negate the summon of a
summon of a monster. It lists all the kinds of summons there. Special summon, flip summon, normal summon, and then the activation of a spell or trap. So like, let's say you have some key cards on the field you don't want them to get rid of.
Like if they play Heavy Storm or Dark Hole, you can negate it with this. Yeah. It's a counter trap, so
of course, if that's your only face down, it is not worth not worth negating the heavy storm. You just lose half your life points for nothing.
So yeah, sometimes just from people that know they're gonna lose, they just pay half their life points anyway. Because I know this one guy who kind of became a little depressed because I beat him like once, so he decided to just he solemn. When I was about to destroy Solemn Judgment with MST, he negated it with Solemn Judgment.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's not good. Anyway, so next on the list is Magic Cylinder. It is semi-limited, so yeah, that's something. I just run one because it might not be all that good like later on in the duel because I might mill it.
Yeah, and then,
anyway, its effect is
what? The main reason he runs one is because later in the duel when he's on the offensive, because he's like desperately trying to win before he runs out of cards in his deck.
Which has happened a lot.
Yeah, he'll try. Magic Cylinder is just dead draw.
I mean, it's not like I can use it for anything.
Yeah.
Unless he summons a monster on the next turn. Anyway, so Magic Cylinder, negate whenever a monster attacks, negate the attack, and then inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack of the attacking monster. So if I attack with like a monster with 8 million attack points, why are we going 8 million on this? Anyway, 8 million attack points, I can negate the attack and then give all the damage to my opponent. So that's 8 million damage, I win. I have beaten so many people with this thing. I just set it face down. They attack, I basically just win.
Yeah, that's great. Let's go on to the next card then.
Okay, so Divine Wrath. I'm thinking of either running 2 or running 1 and Effect Veiler, because it's a light monster, it helps. I also might run Cephalon or whatever it's called, the Ultimate Time Lord or something like that.
Sorry about the shaky camera-ing. My legs are falling asleep here.
Yeah, this is taking a long time. So we might even videotape a duel with this. We don't really know. Something like that. Anyway, Divine Wrath. Whenever a monster activates its effect, you can. This is a counter trap. So by discarding one card, you can negate the activation of the effect and destroy the monster. He has done this to my JD so many times. It's just got. I ended up only inflicting 6,000 damage because I just summoned 2 more JDs.
See, his JD. It's he's looking for more Divine Wraths, but I'll just give him some.
I don't know, or something like that, because he's going to run Effect Veiler. Anyway, so Divine Wrath, negate the effect of an effect monster, and destroy it by discarding 1 card. Okay, Trap Stun. It's basically like a Dark Bribe, almost.
Except it only works on traps.
Yeah, on the turn you activate it,
no trap cards can be activated. Or all trap cards
it just negates the effect of all of the, it negates the effects of all of the trap cards on the field except for this card.
Yeah.
So, if it's good for, like, on the turn you know you're gonna win, like,
yeah, and you think they might have like Mirror Force set down or something,
which has happened a lot. Anyway, so Trap Stun, negate all other traps on the field for that turn.
Of course, Royal Decree is much better because it's continuous. Except this one, it only lasts. It's also better because this only lasts 1 turn.
And if you get like screwed over by like Royal Decree, if you use it and then say he tries to attack you, you have Mirror Force face down. Royal Decree, you can't use it.
Yeah, so Trap Stun, it's better in some situations and worse in others.
Yeah, so that's something to look forward to. Sometimes Mirror Force is kind of an essential. Whenever a monster attacks, you can destroy all face-up attack position monsters on your opponent's side of the field. That's kind of it. It just destroys a lot of monsters.
Yeah, this video is taking forever.
Yeah, we're sorry. We might even post a duel with this. Connor, I don't know, maybe against your scraps. Anyway, so Mirror Force.
Essential. Alright,
essential in any deck. Torrential Tribute is good against Swarm decks. Whenever a monster is summoned, you can just destroy all monsters on the field by activating this card.
Yeah, so it's basically nuke the field.
It's basically Dark Hole.
Yeah, it's basically Dark Hole in trap form. Next card.
With the weird blue lightning, or I don't know what the hell that is.
I think it's an explosion. Anyway, this is compulsory. I mentioned this earlier. It just returns a card, a monster from the field to the hand. It's really nothing special, but it screws over Synchros and Xyz, because once it's out, you're just like, boom. And the Xyz material for the Xyz monsters go to the graveyard, or they just wasted a tuner and a normal monster. Basically, it just stops It just stops a lot of big plays. Next card.
Because we kind of want to get through this and maybe film a duel. Anyway.
Oh yeah,
so,
Chris.
What?
So Oh, funny story about Charge.
I didn't know it was limited, so I bought 3 of them. The guy told me, and then I ended up paying for 3. So I'm like,
I did the
God
same
damn
thing
it.
with Book of Moon, but I ended up just using it in other decks. So
yeah, Charge.
Charge isn't that splashable, unlike Book of Moon. So,
Well,
good luck with using those.
Anyway, so charge the Light Brigade, mill the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard, and then add 1 level 4 Lightsworn from your deck to your hand. So it's basically just good for search power.
Yep.
So yeah, that's something.
And mill power,
Yeah.
depending on if you need it or not.
Depending
like if you have
if you
JD
need, like-
in your hand.
Yeah, that's something, because if you start off with JD in your hand. Alright, yeah, I gotta move a little. Anyway, so the next
Solar
2 cards...
Recharge, discard a Lightsworn, mill top 2, draw top 2.
No, it's draw top 2, and then mill top 2.
Whatever.
Okay, whatever. This is getting confusing. Anyway, I was originally going to run 3 of these, but I figured it was kind of overkill because I kind of spent like $20 on the special edition thing for
Or
this.
Ancient Prophecy, I think?
Because it came with Solar Recharge. Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah.
You also got Red Eyes Black Wyvern.
But I
if
ended up
any-
selling it for like $6 or something like that. Anyway, so that's Solar Recharge. Discard 1 Lightsworn, draw top 2,
By the way, if
mill
any-
top 2. It's good for draw power in this deck. I like it.
Yeah, it's a good card.
So, yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, and then Solar Recharge later on in the duel when he's running out of cards, it's kind of like dead draw.
Because
You don't
if
want
I
to
don't-
burn through 4 cards of your deck.
It doesn't really burn. Okay, it doesn't burn to. It basically burns 2 and then adds 2 to your hand.
Yeah, but you might end up losing the duel because of that.
In my opinion, Magical Stone Excavation is kind of a staple and kind of not a staple.
Because it'll bring back your Monster Reborn if you need it.
Or, like, anything. I'll show you why I need this later. But anyway, so Magical Stone. Discard 2 cards from your hand to the graveyard. Select a spell card in your graveyard and add it back to your hand. So,
yeah,
Monster Reborn, Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, MST, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's
a good
all
card.
beautiful. Anyway, so yeah.
Beautiful. Really, Chris? Oh, Pot of Avarice.
However, this is why I run Magical Stone. Because I either mill it or I have to use it. Because if I mill all my JDs, if I'm having crappy luck that day, I can just use this to bring them back to my deck, shuffle,
Yeah.
and draw 2 cards. So its effect is, well, you kind of know already. Anyway, you select 5
Yeah,
monster
the
cards
only
in your
reason-
graveyard, and then add them back to your deck, shuffle your deck, and draw 2 cards.
The only reason this card is not banned is because you have to wait for at least 5 monster cards to be in your graveyard to activate it. So unlike Pot of Greed, you can't just like play it instantly.
And then draw 2. So, yeah,
so that's why it's not banned.
This is why I run Magical Stone, because I can get it back easily by discarding 2 cards. Like I can discard 2 Lightsworns, bring back JD, and then draw.
I think
like,
within the week we'll have my scout deck profile up, and you'll see what kind of cards we're talking about when we're making reference. So
yeah, we also might film a duel, like maybe in a little bit.
yeah,
'Cause-
he also has a Blackwing deck. We'll put that up some other time too.
We'll do that like next week. Anyway,
Card Destruction.
Card Destruction, a very good card for mill cards, good for Dark World and Lightsworn, because. You don't know how many times I've used this, got really good cards, and beat Connor's ass.
Yeah,
Because,
except
I had 4 Lightsworns in my hand, or like 5 or
Chris,
something.
wasn't there a time where you played like a Dark World and you were like, and they got all those crazy effects because you discarded cards?
Oh,
of
yeah.
theirs?
That
Yeah,
was
like he
awesome.
summoned like 2 golds, a Silva, I think a Silva, and
Grapha.
he sent 2 Graphas to the grave.
I destroyed 2 cards and then it just brought
And
back
he just
Grapha.
bounced both of his golds to his hand. And then the other guy played Hand Destruction or something like that, and he discarded both golds again, got back both golds, and he
then
had a field with 3 beat sticks. It was insane. He got killed.
Anyway, so yeah, Card Destruction. I have used this so many times in duels. Like I would use it, and then I would send like 4 Lightsworns from my hand to the graveyard, and then like another card. Like on the first turn, I managed to kill Connor with this. Because when I used it, I ended up drawing.
He sent 5 Lightsworns to the graveyard, and then
I managed to draw 2. I managed to draw Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, and 3 JDs. So I basically used those. If they didn't work, I just summoned a JD. It was fun.
He killed me. He murdered me. Needless to say.
Yeah, kind of fun all around. Anyway, so Monster Reborn, a very big staple in any deck. It lets you special summon a monster from either player's graveyard. So if they have like friggin'
Yeah, like if they have like a little like they have something like that you want on your side of the field. Like let's say they have Cataster chilling in their graveyard.
You can just use this to bring it back.
Yeah, you can bring back their Cataster
Because
on your side.
it summons the monster to your side of the field. Like when Connor like ended up destroying a Scrap Dragon to destroy a card on my field, my turn. Monster Reborn, destroy one of my cards, and destroyed one of his.
Yeah, because
So-
he brought back Scarp Dragon and used its effect.
Yeah,
Absolutely
I was running
destructive.
black. I was using Black Wings when I used this card. Anyway, so
Yeah.
next card, 1 Day of Peace. In Japan, it was called Momentary Truce. I kind of think that it was a lot better.
What this does is you take for the next 2 turns, or for your turn and your
By the end of
your-
your opponent's next turn,
no one takes battle damage, and then you each draw 1 card. So good card. It adds draw power to the deck.
yeah,
Next card.
it gives you 1 card. So yeah. Anyway,
MST.
MST. It's kind
a
of a
staple.
staple. I run 1 more in my side deck just in case.
destroy 1 spell trap on field.
Yeah, that's something. Anyway, so these are the
Hole, Heavy
2
Storm.
ultimate staples ever, sort of, other than Raigeki and Harpies, but those are
Banned.
Yeah.
And then Dark
These
Hole
were like
destroys all monsters on field.
Heavy Storm
Storm's-
destroys all spells and traps
Yeah,
on the
so
field. These are
sometimes
staples for any
If
deck.
he wants to make a huge play with JD, he'll play. If he
Yeah.
can, he'll play both.
And then I'll either destroy all his spells and traps and Dark Hole. If he has a negate, he'll negate this or this, and then I can just nuke the field because he wasted his negate card.
Yeah.
So that is everything from my Lightsworn deck.
Wait. We forgot something.
Okay,
The
yeah.
sideboard.
Here is the side deck.
Side deck.
I don't know.
Sorry.
You were playing Magic earlier. Anyway, so this is the side deck for the Lightsworn deck. I switch out cards.
Vanity's Ruler, the ultimate lockdown card. So
Neither player. Wait, no. Your opponent cannot special summon
that's right.
at all.
You can summon. You can make all the special summons you want. Okay. Look, I'm surprised the Banhammer hasn't hit this yet, but
Why do I have the strangest feeling once this thing's uploaded, it's gonna be banned?
That's because once something hits the internet, Konami's like, oh god.
Oh my
we
god, that
overlooked
card
this."
is somewhat good. We must ban it.
Yeah, I'm surprised the Banhammer hasn't hit Insector Hornet. I hate that thing. By the way, if you guys ask us to show you a Dino Rabbit, Insector, or Wind Up deck profile, I will somehow pop out of your computer screen and slap you in the face.
Sorry, we're not gonna really do like meta decks.
We are not we are not showing you guys those. All right.
I mean, they're popular enough. You might as well see it. This is a good card to lock down anything that's special summon. So Dino Rabbit and Insectors.
Axe Dragonute, it's just really there so that he can mill it and
Yeah,
get a
it's
Chaos
kind of just
Dragon.
there for no reason.
And
it has
the 2000 B stick, which goes.
Sadly,
to
it's
defense.
like Goblin Attack Force. It switches itself to defense.
And then there's this Summoner Monk. When it's
When
normal
it's-
summoned, it switches to defense, and you can discard a dead spell in your hand, and it'll special summon a level 4 from your deck.
So if I have like something like I don't know,
I'm really hoping Chris will put Utopia into this deck so that he can so I can
Xyz summon with this thing. It doesn't say it can't be used for Xyz. Anyway,
Yeah, because
so
it was released before.
Here's
Xyz.
Dark Flare. It's basically
It's basically just there so he can get Light Pulsar in his graveyard.
yeah, and that's all it does. And then it banishes a card in any graveyard.
Yeah.
By sending a dragon from your deck to the graveyard, you're allowed to banish
a card in either player's graveyard, and you also have to discard a dragon in your hand.
That's pretty much
So
it.
he's running 2 Dark Flare.
Because it's a dark monster.
And
Anyway,
then-
the next 2 are Snipe Hunter and Vice Dragon. Vice Dragon, you can special summon it if your opponent has a monster on their field, but sadly its attack and defense are halved.
So it's at 1,000, 1,200. Snipe Hunter, you can discard any number of cards from your hand. You roll that many dice, and then for
Any number that isn't 1 or 6, the card is destroyed. Like, if I roll 5, then I get to destroy whatever card I targeted with this effect.
Yeah,
it kind of has the picture right here, like 5, 4, 3, 2. No, if you roll 1 or 6, its effect doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's why I discard a bunch of cards just to see what happens.
all right. Anyway,
Anyway, next 2 cards. Chaos Sorcerer. I really don't know how this works. Anyway,
you
Chaos
remove
Sorcerer.
1 light and 1 dark from your graveyard, and then
You can special summon it. Once you do that, you can bring it back with Monster Reborn if you want, because it just says must first.
Yeah, because that same. I'll teach you about that ruling in the scrap deck profile. Anyway,
So
He
its
can
effect,
he
it
can
banishes a
banish.
card on your opponent's side, face-up monster on your opponent's side of the field, but you can't attack with it the turn
wait,
you
what the
lose.
hell? There's a second Vice Dragon
Oh,
here.
okay, yeah, you already know what this does. Anyway, Chaos Sorcerer banishes.
The
next
double Light
2
Pulsar Dragon.
I probably
it's
should
summoned
run
in the
3.
same. It's summoned in the same way that Vice Dragon is, and it
Vice Dragon? Don't you mean Dark Flare
mean-
Dragon?
No. Dark Flare and Chaos Sorcerer are summoned the same way as Light Pulsar.
But the cheat thing about this card is whenever it leaves the field,
you
or-
can put
or-
whenever it's sent to the graveyard, you can remove a light and a dark from your graveyard and special summon it from the graveyard. So, like, let's say he has a Light Pulsar in hand and a Light Pulsar somewhere in his deck, just waiting to be sent to the graveyard, he can just go Dark Flare, and he'll discard the Light Pulsar in his hand and the Light Pulsar in his graveyard, or in his deck, and send him to the graveyard.
Actually, you can't do that, because it has to be sent from the field to the graveyard.
Really?
Yeah. I'll tell you about that later.
I think it's anytime it's in the graveyard. You can special summon this card from your graveyard by sending 1 light and 1 dark.
Oh, you're talking about the special summon?
No, from the graveyard, you can special summon him by removing from play 1 light, 1 dark monster from your hand.
Can you move the camera a little? Anyway, so, yeah. And whenever it leaves the graveyard, here's the cheat part. Whenever it leaves the graveyard, you can special summon any dragon monster from your graveyard.
You mean from the field? Whenever it leaves the field.
Yeah, that's what I was... Anyway, so you can special summon any dragon monster that's level, like, 6 or above. So
yeah,
that's
so
like...
that means an instant, Red Eyes, Black...
Darkness Metal or whatever the hell it's called. Anyway, so yeah, that. And then I only bought 2 starter decks, so I got 2 Red Eyes Darkness Metals. Once
so
a turn, it's a 2800 beat stick, level 10, I think. And it can special summon any dragon from your graveyard or hand once per turn.
Yeah, so he uses that to bring back Light Pulsar.
Except for Red Eyes Darkness Metal. Like,
yeah.
It can't bring back itself.
Yeah, it can't bring back itself.
And then the last 2 are kind of just cards.
Dark Bribe, MST, because MST, you use that for removal, Dark Bribe to negate. Yeah, that's about it.
That's all we have for this deck profile of Lightsworns. So, in the comments below, show us any other deck lists you would like to see.
Also,
if not, then we'll probably just show you anyway. Any
requested deck profile probably won't be up for quite a while
because we still have to build it.
We have to number one, we have to build it and like put our own little tech into it, and also again, we won't do any meta decks, Insectors, Windups, Dino Rabbits, stuff like that. Twilights are the only meta deck I'm willing to show just because they're not incredibly cheat.
We won't show cheat decks. We will show decks that
are beatable.
Are beatable in some way, because we've already told you how this is beaten. Anyway, so yeah, this is Twilight for our first deck list.
If you Veiler JD, it's gone.
Yeah, that's not.
If you Veiler JD,
if you ever see me in a tournament, please don't do that.
Yeah,
Chris, I beg you.
Chris, yeah, didn't you get beaten that way that once?
No, you negated it. Wait.
No, like by somebody else in a tournament.
I forgot.
Anyway, yeah.
So this is our first deck list for Lightsworns / Twilight. Leave your comments in the.
Also, the deck probably won't be up because we have to have enough money to buy the cards. Yeah.
So yeah. Thanks for watching. This is the TCG team. I'm Chris, and the person holding the camera is Connor.
Great. We're stuck in Yu-Gi-Oh mode now. Yeah. So
okay.
So this has been a deck profile for Lightsworns. See you guys next week, I guess.
Or possibly in a few minutes, because we will probably post a video of us dueling with this. You might also see moves done by Connor's scrap deck.
Yeah,
which is incredibly badass.
I actually want to put up the deck list before we go Lightsworn versus
okay, yeah,
scraps.
That makes sense, because then they'll get a kind of.
By the way, Chris, no setting your deck.
I'm not gonna. I don't set my deck.
He used to do this thing where he would set his deck and then he'd shuffle it in a certain way so it ends up in the exact same order. It was hilarious.
That was when I was like younger.
Yeah.
And when I was a noob at this game, but now I sound like a nerd. Anyway, so thanks for watching. This is the TCG team deck list. We will be posting so many more for you. Leave your comments and suggestions in the description below. In the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to see all sorts of new deck lists, box openings, and all sorts of other stuff.
We'll probably have a box opening up next month because
it's kind of expensive.
Yeah.
We're not rich. Anyway, so bye.
Yeah, this is the TCG team signing off.